Hi, welcome to another video. So, I recently covered the Bolt fork, which basically makes Bolt much more accessible for local usage. It allows you to use things like Ollama or almost any OpenAI compatible API, along with multiple quality of life features for people who want to use it locally. I covered it in one of my previous videos, and it was really great for sure. But recently, it has gotten some new upgrades that make it much better than before, with some great new features. Plus, I also wanted to show some more free APIs that I've been using with it, and I'm really enjoying using it these days. So, let's talk about the new upgrades, and then we'll test them one by one. So, first of all, it now has a proper name, it seems. It's now called Otto Dev. I like calling it Better Bolt, but Otto Dev is also good. Now, these are the new things that I haven't covered. So, let's talk about them. First of all, you now have the ability to enter API keys in the UI. This is pretty good for changing keys on the fly without messing around with the environment file. So, that's cool. There's also the XAI Grok beta integration, which means you should now be able to use the Grok free credits as well, which is pretty good. Next, there's also the new LM Studio integration, which means that if you use LM Studio, then you can now use its API with it quite easily without messing around with the OpenAI compatible stuff. There's also the HuggingFace integration. I don't understand what this is exactly. I think it should be the HuggingFace serverless endpoint support. We'll check this going forward. Apart from this, it now has another terminal in it that is reserved for the LLM to run the commands. Previously, the terminal used to get blocked if the LLM was running the command, but now it has a different terminal space. So, it should be pretty good now. It also now supports streaming of code output. So, now you can see the code coming in as it's being generated, which is quite cool. It also has the ability to revert code to an earlier version as well, which means if something goes wrong in generation, then you now have the option to revert back. This is a lifesaver in many situations. So, this is cool. You now also have Cohere's API integration. I don't use them, but if you want to use Cohere's model, then you can use it now. There's also the new dynamic model, max token length. So, previously, using it with models via Ollama was not as good of an experience because the local models from Ollama have a set length of default context length. So, now they have made it dynamic in the requests that they send from their thing. So, now you don't need to create a copy of the Ollama model and then change the model context length and then use that. Now, it does that automatically by setting a dynamic context length in the request itself. So, it's pretty good now. Prompt catching is also now implemented. So, the API costs should now be lower for Anthropic models. Another big feature request that has now been implemented is the option to load local projects into the app. So, now you can load your own projects in it and use Bolt to iterate on them, which is a great feature, to say the least. It is also now mobile-friendly, and the prompts are also a little enhanced now. There's also a new image support pull request as well, which is close to being completed, and we can try it out with some tinkering as well. So, I'll also show you how to do that. So, now let's try out these things one by one and check them out. First of all, if you're using it for the first time, then you can just get it cloned with the git clone command. Or if you already have it, then just get into the folder and run the git pull command, and it will just pull the new changes, and you'll get the new updates. Now, once done, you'll also need to run pnpm install, because there are generally some new packages in it that need to be installed as well. Once you do that, you can start using it To use it, just run pnpm run dev, and once you do that, it will get started. Now, you can start using it. First of all, you can see that the UI is now better than before. Previously, there were two drop-downs sticking out like a sore thumb, but now it is tightly integrated into it and looks good now. Now, apart from this, you can see that you now have some other providers' options as well, like XAI or LM Studio and stuff like that. You can also now set the API key within it as well, which is also great and comes in clutch when you want to edit the API key quickly. So, that's cool. Anyway, now you also have some new options here as well. The first one is the import chat option, and the other one is the import folder option. The import chat basically allows you to import the history of old chat by exporting the chat history in the coding environment. So, this is good, and I'll also show you how to export when we get inside. Now, the import folder option allows you to import a whole project that you have. Generally, you should only import the src folder because that would be better for the context. Once you add it, like here, you'll see that it takes that into context, and now you can ask it to change something in it. This is a basic to-do app that I have here just for testing. Now, before we give it some prompt, let me show you some of the new stuff pinpointed. So, here's the Bolt terminal. This is where the LLM will run the commands, and you can run your own commands in the actual terminal. So, that's good for sure. You also have the same features that I showed in the previous video, and you can also export the chat here as well to import it through the option on the front page. Anyway, let's also ask it to make some changes to it. Let's ask it to add a text to the top saying, "To do king." Let's send it and see. Okay, so you can see that the code is now streamed here. It is good, although it's not a necessity for me, but it's good to see the speed of inference and stuff like that. Anyway, it did it. So, this is great for sure. You can also now revert back to an earlier version as well by clicking over here and getting it reverted. So, this is a great option for sure. It should also work a lot better with Ollama as well, if you use that. Another thing that it also has is the image support. And although it hasn't been added to the main branch yet, it is close to being done. So, you can run it yourself as well and test it before it's merged. Once it's merged, then you'll just have it in the main thing. But to use it for now, you can just make sure that you have the GitHub desktop or the CLI tool installed, and then just go to the pull request of the thing. And here, just copy this command and paste it in your terminal. Once done, you can just run pnpm install and then run it. Now, you'll see that you also have the image option, and now you can use it. It should get available in the main thing in the coming weeks, I believe. But for now, you can use it like this. It works quite well, although it can be buggy at times with different providers, which is something that would need to be ironed out, but it's great to see as well. So, that's how you can use it, and that's all the new updates it has. I think that this is a great project, and it only keeps getting better. It's just amazing for sure. Overall, it's pretty cool. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked this video, consider donating to my channel through the Super Thanks option below, or you can also consider becoming a member by clicking the Join button. Also, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye.